From underdog to headliner, from silence to stardom, Leon Edwards' story should have been inspiring. But somehow he made the journey from overlooked to overbearing, and the only thing more surprising than his head kick against Usman is how insufferable he became after it. Let's get this out the way. Yes, Leon Edwards is a talented fighter. Yes, being a world champion demands respect. And yes, he deserves credit for his grit. But none of that changes one simple truth. Leon Edwards is annoying. And not the kind of annoying that comes from trash talk or cockiness. No, Leon's brand of irritation is silent arrogance. He plays the humble guy, calm and reserved. But underneath that quiet exterior is a man who thinks he's better than you. Not because of what he's done, but because of who he thinks he is. And nothing proved that more than his fight with Sean Brady. A fight he didn't even want. A fighter he didn't even rate. And a week full of media that Leon acted like he was way too important to show up for. Sean Brady said it best. He was asking about my height like he was trying to clown me. Said I had big shoes on. Gave me 5 seconds of a face-off, then walked off like I wasn't worth his time. Leon wasn't just looking past Brady. He was looking down on him. And that's the problem with Leon. He walks around like the whole world should be grateful he even showed up. It's not about Sean, he said. It's about me. As if this entire sport exists to help Leon Edwards right his wrongs and pose dramatically for the camera. Well, it turns out the world didn't care. His comeback fight after losing the title wasn't a stadium PPV. It wasn't a blockbuster co-main. It was a fight night in London against Sean Brady. And that's when the mask came off. This is a guy who got famous not for his striking, but for being struck by Jorge Masvidal backstage. The 3-piece and a soda meme? Yeah, that was Leon. And before his career-defining KO against Usman, his biggest highlight was almost getting stopped by a Nate Diaz, who looked like he pre-gamed with a six-pack and a hotbox. But after that head kick, Leon crowned himself as the new golden boy. Suddenly, he was the A-side. Suddenly, he was too good for Belal Muhammad. Suddenly, he thought he was doing people a favour by fighting them. This guy, the one who sat in obscurity for years, now pretending like he's Conor McGregor with a British accent and the personality of a microwave. And Belal, say what you want, but that guy took the hardest road to a title shot in UFC history. Never marketed, rarely respected, just grinding through the rankings like a machine. And the one guy who should have empathised, the one guy who was in that same spot, treated him like a nobody. This isn't just petty, it's straight up cold. Their first fight ended in a brutal eye poke that nearly blinded Belal. Any decent human being would have said, run it back. Leon? He brushed it off like he was above it, like Belal was an inconvenience, not a contender. And Belal never forgot. He kept winning, kept climbing. Meanwhile, Leon pretended it never happened. And when questioned about it, he laughed it off, dismissed it. He won a round on my worst day. That's not analysis, that's delusion. And the scariest part? Leon believes it. But karma's undefeated. Belal finally got his moment. He got the belt. And now it's Leon who looks confused. Like a deer in the headlights. Like a guy who finally realised attitude doesn't win fights. Branding doesn't beat game plans. And ducking your way through contenders doesn't make you a star. Even when Belal was still on the outside, he was rooting for Leon. Because he remembered what it was like to be overlooked. That's what real champions do. But Leon, the second he got a seat at the table, he pulled the ladder up behind him. He forgot who he was. And let's be real. If Leon had it his way, his first title defence would have been against KSY at a Misfits card in Wembley. The UFC dragged him into relevance. He didn't earn superstardom. He stumbled into it. And even then, nobody cared. Not Jorge. Not Dana. Not the fans. And now not even his opponents. Because they've seen behind the curtain. They've seen the insecurity. They've heard the excuses. And they know one thing for sure. Leon Edwards is not that guy. But hey, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like if you liked, sub if you're feeling bold, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next breakdown. And if you really want to support the channel, join as a member. Links in the description. Oh, and one last thing. If you're salty after a fight, that's fine. But don't act like you're above it all, especially when everyone around you is saying the same thing. Because when everyone calls you weird, maybe it's not them, maybe it's you.